Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Tulley, President and Executive Writing Coach at Defend, Publish, and Lead, and welcome to episode 7 of our limited podcast series on location and a plan. Our limited podcast series is called Real Life Sabbatical, and I've been recording episodes that just capture what's going on in the sabbatical that I'm taking during the spring of 2024 and summer of 2024. So this episode will be relatively short, but I thought it might be nice to just do a quick on-location episode where you got to actually see some of my working conditions. So I'm actually filming this episode from the office that I have at Ohio State. And as a reminder, I'm doing a visiting scholar gig in project narrative at Ohio State and working on some narrative research where I'm analyzing faculty narratives about how they describe their writing processes and specifically their writing project management strategies from moving from an idea to a publication. So I've been refining my thinking while I've been here, doing a lot of research, doing a lot of reading. But one of the things that I thought I might capture in today's episode, outside of just kind of showing what it looks like, I'm in the office that I'm in right now, is that today I didn't actually make a plan before I came, and this is partially because I have several loose end projects that all have upcoming deadlines. And so for today, normally I would, kind of figure this out ahead of time, but I thought since I have so many little things that could be done, I think the way that I'm going to work today, which is the opposite of the way that I normally work, is to just see what strikes me when I actually get to the library. I prefer to work in the library versus the office that I'm recording this in, for a lot of reasons, but I just like a library vibe and they have a cool one. But the projects that I'm specifically looking at today, I have a call for papers where I have a proposal for a conference that's due in, I believe, 2 or 3 days. I have a university funding application that's due in 2 days, and I definitely want some funding for some research that I'm going to do. I have some revisions for a chapter for an edited collection that came back to me. So if you've been keeping track of a lot of the projects I've been talking about, this isn't the edited collection that I'm actually one of the editors for, but it's more for a project I submitted a long time ago, kind of in the early fall, for a chapter in someone else's edited collection. So I just got my revision suggestions back, and thankfully they're not too bad. So I feel, a couple hours, maybe 2 hours of work on those. A conference proposal might take an hour, maybe less, because I actually have quite a bit already, kind of thought about and written for that. And then in addition to that, I want to keep going with some of the research that I've been doing where I'm thinking through some of my interview protocols and kind of figuring out what it is that I want to do with the narrative end of the research. One thing that probably won't happen today, I'd like to make some more movement on it, would be the article that I'm working on the graduate student writing. So that's one that I thought I was going to try to knock out quickly over the course of the sabbatical, but for just a lot of reasons, one of which is just I have so many other things that I'm really interested in doing, and I'm trying to take advantage of that momentum. So that will probably get put on hold a little bit for today. One of the things I'll do in this episode is kind of talk through how I'm rearranging priorities a little bit on the fly. The more that I work, on sabbatical where I don't have to think about teaching right now, I don't really have to think about service right now. It's just to kind of think about what projects need to be addressed when and how we might shift in our energy that we're working on one project, for a while, but then we might shift to another one. Obviously, if you're working on, say, a dissertation or something like that, where you've got a goal, a timeline, it's high stakes, you need to complete it. Same thing with some other projects for folks on the tenure track. This might not be the way to go. But the more that I talk to associate professors, full professors, and those of us that are fortunate to kind of have an established place in the academy, the more that we start talking about it, I'm really listening to people's work patterns and how this is how many of us are working, where we might be working on 2 or 3 things at one time. One of the things that I wanted to do for today's episode is just kind of capture what I was able to knock out today. I've got about 4 hours to work, so check out our next episode if you want to hear what I got done. Thanks for listening. Happy writing.